Xin chào, what's up everybody? Alright, today we're going to talk about how much of a budget should you plan for your vacation when you come to Vietnam. How much money should you consider allocating to spend while you're here for a, let's go with what the e-visa is for, a 30-day trip. So if you're going to be here for a month, I want to go over costs. How much you should expect to be spending. I'm going to discuss different scenarios. I'm mainly going to talk about a single person and a couple. So if you do like this video, I'd appreciate if you subscribed to the channel. Thank you. If not, no worries, just keep it moving. Hit do not recommend this channel and you won't see me anymore. So let's talk about single guys first. I guess I can speak about single women too. But okay, let's do single guys. You could go from anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000. I reckon $1,000 you're going to be a pretty cheap guy. Likewise with a woman, you're going to be staying at hostels, extremely cheap places. If you're sticking to Vietnamese street food and pretty much Vietnamese cuisine, you should be able to sneak by on around $1,000. If you're coming here and you're trying to date girls, especially, you know, hot chicks, you want to take for some reason a lady bar chick out or a woman that works in that kind of field, expect to spend $2,000 to $3,000 easily, especially if you're finding yourself going to like bars in Japantown, or if you're going to massage places all the time, or if you're going to lady bars. I mean, anything like this, you're going to be spending a heck of a lot of money. So if you're a couple, you know, I would reckon you could do $2,000 to $3,000, no problem. Maybe even $1,500. Again, it depends on the type of lodgings you're going to stay at. Hotels are all the way from $20 all the way up to $150, depending on the quality of the hotel you want. The median, I would say, is around $50 a night for a decent hotel in Saigon, Da Nang, Nha Trang. Nha Trang's a little cheaper. You can get $25 to $30. You can get a really good hotel. And Hanoi, around $50 a night though, is probably going to be the median for a pretty nice room. If you go on the cheap side, you don't care and you're not going to be in the room much, and that you don't need a view, you don't need a balcony, $20 to $25 a night you can probably squeak away with. If you're going to be going to different parts in the country, the flights are going to cost you anywhere from $50 to $150, depending on what airline you fly on, all the way up to $200 if you fly on like a really nice airline. So you can kind of plan that if you're trying to budget out the trip and figure out how much you're going to need. If you're going to be a dude partying, drinking, doing all that stuff, and you're going to go all gas, no brakes the whole trip, I would say expect to spend $2,000 to $4,000. Not a problem. That stuff's going to add up quickly, and you're going to spend some money. Could you have the best month of your life? Very possible. And you don't want to compare this to like Thailand or other things. It's its own unique thing here. You know, you got to understand that Vietnam's kind of its own thing, a little bit. You know, so it's its own. It's much different than other places in Southeast Asia. I find it really odd when people want to compare them, even though they're geographically kind of in the same area. Comparing places, Cambodia's different, Thailand's different, Vietnam's different. While there are similarities in between, they're each different. But yeah, if you're gonna go all gas, no brakes, you want to eat good food, like not just. A lot of people are like, just eat Vietnamese food the whole time. Almost every person I've ever met that's been here has all wanted to eat something else besides Vietnamese food after a week or two. You know, it's really good food, but you start to get to hankering, you know, a steak maybe, or some sushi, or a hamburger, or a taco, or just other types of things, pasta, pizza. I mean, you start to crave other types of food. So it's yeah, if you're gonna eat a lot of nice, tasty, yummy food, and you want to eat at sit-down restaurants, fancy ones, you can expect to spend $2,000 to $4,000 real easily, depending on what kind of stuff you're going to do as well. A lot of the touristy stuff is pretty affordable. Now, if you're going up to like Banana Hills, or if you're going to take the Sapa tram all the way up the mountain, that stuff is a little pricey. But for the most part, things are pretty affordable. If you go into like a Vin Pearl or like a Vin amusement park, that stuff can add up too. So I think for 2 people to get into the Vin in Phu Quoc, it's around $100. So it's pretty close to, like, I haven't been to an American amusement park in a long time, but I think that's pretty close to what amusement parks are kind of everywhere. I'm getting a dithering light. One of these lights is affecting the camera. I apologize for the dithering light. We'll figure that out in the next video if I'm going to shoot at home again. We are shooting at home because it's been raining literally all day long. We are in the rainy season in Saigon. It's quite a bit of a different rainy season this year. It's raining much longer and much more statically throughout the days. In the past years that I've been here, it would typically usually rain for 20 to 30 minutes a day, and that was really it. But now it's significantly changed because somebody told me why. I think some tropical storm last year changed some things around. Let me try to figure out this lighting situation. It's driving me insane. Give me 1 second. So I think that you can easily spend as a single guy between $2,000 to $4,000, especially if you're just not going to leave Saigon. Now, I don't recommend you do that. A lot of guys have been coming here and just staying in Saigon for 4 weeks and going back home. Can't say I'd recommend that. I would definitely be going to Hanoi. I would definitely be going to Sapa if you already are in Hanoi. Hai Long Bay if you want to do the Hai Long Bay thing. Da Nang. When you're in Da Nang, you can go to Hoi An from there. You don't have to plan a whole nother trip in Hoi An. You can literally just drive from Da Nang to Hoi An or take a taxi. It's not that big of a deal. I would want to go to Nha Trang as well. If you want to check out Vung Tau, if you're an older gentleman, you'll probably fit in really well there. That's, you know, something you can do. It's pretty affordable to get around via the bus situation they have here. They have these things called sleeper buses. I have filmed it before. If you want to see that, check out some of my Sapa footage. Just type in Fat and Broke Sapa, and you'll see me in the sleeper buses there, and I kind of review them. But if you get a proper sleeper bus, a 6-8 hour journey on one of those things, not a big deal. They have what they call like a red-eye sleeper bus, where you just get on it at midnight, wake up at 6, 7 a.m. at your location, you're good to go. This is how we go to Dalat. This is how you go from Hanoi to Sapa, to a lot of different places. This is how we go from here to the ferry, if you want to take the ferry to Phu Quoc. We took the ferry to Han Son Island, which I absolutely recommend. It's a hidden gem of Vietnam. It's called Han Son Island. It has the best seafood I've ever had in Vietnam. If you want to see about that, you probably haven't heard about it until I just mentioned it here, but if you want to see more content on that, just type in Fat and Broke Han Son Island, Honson, and you'll see the entire series. Me and my wife had a lovely time there. Best seafood I've ever had. So things can get pricey with eating high-end food, with eating seafood in a city that doesn't have an ocean around it, and stuff like that. Drinking, if you're having mixed cocktails, that can also add up in a month stay to be a pretty healthy bill. If you stick to beer, that's pretty affordable. You're not going to have too many problems if you just stick to beer. But I would budget myself, if you're like a cheap, thrifty person, you're just going to be exploring the country, you're here to fully embrace into Vietnam, eat all Vietnamese food, stay at hostels or really cheap hotels, easily obtainable for $1,000 to $1,500. If you're going to be partying, if you're a single guy, if you're going to go crazy every night, gas all breaks, want all the women, all the stuff, $2,000 to $4,000, maybe even $2,000 to $5,000, very easily. If you're going to be a couple and you guys want to go on the cheap route as well, like maybe hostels and things like this, you could probably get away for $1,500 to $2,000, as well as sticking to Vietnamese food and not going to like high dining or high-end eateries and things like this. Now, if you're a couple that are going to party, want to eat nice, want to stay at a good hotel, expect to spend $2,000 to $4,000, maybe $5,000 if you're going to eat really crazy, really good food. I personally, if I'm coming here, if you're going to come here for a 30-day trip, here's how my itinerary would be. I would do a week in Saigon. I would do 5 days to a week in Hanoi. I would do 2 days in Sapa. I would do 2 to 3 days in Da Nang. And then maybe 1 extra day in Hoi An. I would do up to a week in Nha Trang, because Nha Trang is just such a super chill beach vibe place. It is the rainy season now, so I don't know how great. Actually, I've been to Nha Trang during rainy season. It's not the funnest. You kind of want to have the sun out. If you get lucky enough, sometimes you can squeeze in some days where you get pure sun. Vung Tau, it's debatable. I like Vung Tau because one of my best friends live there, and I just hang out with him when we go over there. So if you're an older guy, like 55 to 75, Vung has a strong Australian older gentleman expat community there. It's absolutely gigantic. It's for some reason where all the Australians go. I wouldn't say for some reason. It's very affordable there. You can get like an apartment for 200 bucks a month. That's pretty nice. So the price there is pretty affordable. As far as staying here, you can get an Airbnb in District 4, which is a really good location right by the river. I've shot a video on that as well, where to stay on your trip in Saigon, fat and broke. Will net you where I would recommend you would stay when you come here on a vacation. But yeah, you need to plan accordingly onto how you know that you're going to spend and have your vacation. Like I said, crazy party man, up to $4,000. Crazy party couple, up to $4,000. Cheap couple, $1,000, $1,500. Cheap guy, $1,000, $1,500. It might even be achievable to do it under $1,000. I mean, you'd really have to be counting your pennies and stuff. So that is the video I wanted to do. People have asked me this question. Almost every subscriber, which then become friends, have asked me this question. Usually within my first meeting of them, if they've never been in Vietnam, they've asked me, well, I bought this much money. Is this going to be enough for the trip? So, you know, most of them have come at me with $3,000 to $4,000, and that's in my opinion more than enough. I'm sure some guys on here are going to say they've easily spent $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in a month. I don't think that's going to fall in line with the typical guy or gal. As far as gals traveling solo, I'm sure you can come in at $1,000 if you're cheap, $1,500 to $2,000 if you're going to go buck wild. Maybe if you're like a heavy hardcore partier and shit, you could spend $3,000, $4,000. Yeah. That's the video. I wanted to keep it short, concise, to the point. If you're new to the channel, I never add fluff. I never add bloatware to videos. They're exactly what they're supposed to be. They're to the point. There's no additional stuff. There's no 5-minute intro and rant. There's no theme music coming in. There's no drone flying. Typically when we do a video like this, I'm out walking around. We do have heavy rain all day, so I'm making this video inside. It's just as good as if I am walking around. You get to look at my gorgeous face the whole time. Joking. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you found it useful, it'd be cool if you subscribed. If not, and if you didn't like it and you found me annoying, you can hit do not recommend this channel and just keep it moving. If you want to comment, that'd be great. If you want to leave a like, that would be awesome as well. And if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Stay frosty. If you want to add anything, drop it in the comments. See you on the next one. Peace out.